Hi everyone, it's Robert with Kitchen Porter Tech, and today we're going to take a look at the menu engineering section of our software. So when you put together your menu items, you're going to take a look at your recipes and your sub-recipes because all those costs will affect the overall cost of your menu item, which is important because you need to know how to price it. Today we're going to make tacos, and we're going to call them carne asada tacos. So once you load the menu engineering screen, you'll select the location because you can have multiple locations within our software and have different menu items, or they can be the same. You'll select the category that they fall into, dinner, lunch, or breakfast. Give it a name and a price. If you don't have a price, you can do that at the end. And mark it as active. And as you scroll down, you'll notice there's a food cost info, which will start populating once we start adding items to our recipe. So let's start with our recipe item, and I'm going to pull carne asada, and I need 9 ounces of this item. That's $2.77 because I'm going to make 3 tacos, and I'm going to add this item to my menu. Now, tacos aren't complete unless I have tortilla shells, so that's the next item I'm going to look for, and that's going to be under my dry and canned, and I will need 3 of those items. So let's take a look at what we've added to our recipe here. We had a recipe type called carne asada, and we'll take a look at that recipe because that recipe has a sub-recipe in it, and that's how we determined our cost. We had a tortilla, 3 tortilla shells. We're putting in 3 of them. The avocado cream, 3 ounces. The fire roasted salsa, 1.5 ounce. An ounce of lettuce, and a lime wedge. So the total cost, food cost, is $3.49, and my actual food cost percentage is 21%, well under my targeted food cost of 28%. My gross profit is $12.50 with a 78% gross profit because I'm selling my taco dinner for $15.99. Typically what they say is that you take the $3.49, which is your cost, you multiply that by 3, and you add $1 to it, and that should be more than enough to cover your cost. So you could literally charge 12 bucks for this and still be very profitable, just depending on your other external cost. But if you take a look at this menu item that we've created, the carne asada, it has all the components that we need and everything's built in. But what did it take to actually make this? So I'm going to save this file by clicking submit. To make that carne asada taco, I have to really begin at my sub-recipe because it begins with a chili rub marinade. So let's take a look at that sub-recipe. I'm going to make 1 batch of the chili rub marinade, and it consists of items from my inventory, which is whole garlic, limes, an oil blend, oranges, and chili powder, which is part of my spices. Together, when I combine that seasoning, the total cost of it is $3.95. So let's take a look at the actual recipe that uses this sub-recipe. From the list, I'm going to select the entree carne asada and open it up. So let's take a look at this recipe. As you can see, this recipe is called carne asada. I'm going to use it in my tacos. I'm using 3 pounds of carne asada, and I'm using a sub-recipe, chili rub marinade. That's the reason we have SR under type, which cost me $3.95. You can see how important it is to include this sub-recipe because if I made several batches of this chili rub marinade, leaving out $4 is a huge impact on my menu cost. So adding it back into the recipe, I can cost out my menu items correctly. So the total recipe cost with my sub-recipe is $14.78. We looked earlier at our menu engineering screen, so we're going to go back there so we can take a look at those costs. Because now we have our recipe, we have our sub-recipe. Let's go back again to menu engineering. Let's open up our carne asada taco, and let's scroll down so we can come full circle. Notice that we have our recipe here, which is carne asada, which contains a sub-recipe. So when I put together 9 ounces, it gives me a total cost of $2.77. Then I need additional items for my inventory like my tortilla shell, lettuce, and lime. But notice I have 2 other recipes here. I have an avocado cream and a fire roasted salsa. So together, when I pull all these items out and put them together, it tells me my total food cost is $3.50. I'm selling it for $15.99, and those are 3 tacos. So I hope that this video helped you and showed you how to build menu items within Kitchen Porter Tech, and look at our other videos that have further explanation on how to scale recipes, create recipes, and sub recipes. Thanks.